Good Saturday morning, and welcome to a new video. We're going to try and wrap this whole thing up in this video, and hopefully it won't be quite as long as the others. What I have left to do, turns out that the sprinklers that I set up, the tubing that I did all of that, the problem was, well, twofold. One, they're not buried down as far as I want them buried. I want them more like what I got on the lower wall here. So I want them further down. But also, I've got one tube tapped off of that one sprinkler head, and after thinking about it, I think what's happening here is it's only a 1/4 inch tubing. It can only take so much volume, and so I'm spreading it across 4 sprinkler heads, and that's just too many for that volume, so they're barely spitting out. I think the reason it's a little bit wet up above is because I didn't quite finish, I didn't quite succeed in tweaking this impact sprinkler. I tried to make it so it would project over the wall and not get the bed so much, because ultimately I don't want to spray the plants from above. I want to spray them below at the root zone. That's why these are so low down here. So that's ultimately, I need to fix that. And in order to do that, I think what I'm going to end up doing, there is one more sprinkler head right here, so I can run tubing up through that crack there and over. It'll be a little bit of work, but I can run the tubing over, and then I can catch 1, 2 of them, and then ultimately what I can do is sort of cap this one off. Instead of putting a T in there, I will just put a regular what do you call it? Not a junction, well, basically a connection from the tube that's running from here to there. So ultimately, 2 off of that sprinkler head, 2 off of that sprinkler head. I need to go get another one of those adapters, and then I can get it all done. I have enough tubing. I have the other connectors, so that's something I need to get done. The other thing I need to get done is this big pile of soil here. I don't like the fact that it's sitting so close to the air conditioning, but thankfully air conditioning hasn't been going off so much the last couple of days. So after talking about it, basically a lot of this is going to go, talking about it with my parents, asking where they think we need more soil. And back here we've got the roses. It's going to go back behind those. So that's the plan. Time to get it going. That certainly was more than I thought it would be. I calculated probably about 24 cubic yards. I'm going to sit down for a second here. And as you can see, there's a gas pipe right there. It's capped off. It's part of the old equipment that was here. And you can sort of see the shadow of some of the other equipment. Anyway, yeah, that's quite a bit. Let's take a look. Ignore the other tools and the ladder and everything, but plan was to fill in behind. Pretty much raise the level probably at least a good 6 inches, so you can kind of see back there, and you can kind of see the pile extending over this way, and what you can't really see all that well unless I climb up there is behind the tree there. I managed to stack up quite a bit of it, so I think it was a larger pile than anybody thought. But hopefully that'll be okay, and I don't have to somehow pick all that up and move it somewhere else. But that takes care of that. Now I'm going to do a little cleanup and figure out what to do next. Okay, I did a little bit of cleaning up, and I think the next step, this lower bed, even though I've still got some plumbing to do up above, The plan, the revised plan, I had these stepping stones here every 14 inches or something like that, so there's about a two-inch gap between them. And I realized that I'm basically not leaving myself a whole lot of space to actually plant. So after a bit of thinking, I realized I've got 11 of these and I only need about half. So what I'm going to do is start at this end here, remove the first one, the third one, the fifth one, and so on down until I get to here. And what that leaves me with is, say, this one here. If I need to get up to the upper planter and I need to be able to step on something, I've got a stepping stone here. So it basically prevents me from putting plants there that would get smashed otherwise. Granted, I could move a bunch of stuff and climb up here and climb along the wall and all of that, but it also just kind of leaves me with, I've got to put a couple of them up above too, I think, because if I'm going to plant corn, that stuff's going to get tall. I could stand on the wall back there and try to pick corn, but I think it'd be better if I just had some stepping stones in the plan to begin with, just to be able to have a place to stand while I'm dealing with the garden. So that is the thinking, that is the plan. The other thing is I put a bag of amendment in there. I'm going to put a bag of amendment in here. So everything's going to get messed up temporarily. I might as well pull those now and put the bag of amendment in. So that's the plan. Here we go. Well, I've drained the battery again, and it doesn't look quite as good as it did a minute ago on time-lapse, but I'm going to unbury the stepping stones and kind of reset them, and that should take care of the bottom. It's all coming together. I got a couple of stepping stones up top. They're not set in perfectly. Actually, now that I look at it, I could have done a better job, but I just started kind of putting them down. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, they're kind of sloped the same as everything else. And then I got to that third one, and that basically there's a sprinkler head just kind of right in the way of that. I was going to make it like 3 feet apart, but it's more like 2 feet right now, because I've got that part that's sloping down there. That's okay. That should leave me about 2 feet to plant something in there. 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. So it's all nice and even for the most part, and I can get stuff planted. So the next thing, I got to deal with these sprinklers. So here we go. Alright, success. I might need to do a little tweaking. That last one on the bottom is spraying the wrong way, but it fell off earlier, so I'll fix that. But that is pretty much done, just as my battery is. All that really remains now is planting seeds and a little bit of cleanup. That's it for today. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Sunday morning to you, gardening friends. It's finally time to put seeds in the ground. Oh, this has taken a lot of work to get this all together. Granted, there's still an area over here that kind of needs to be dealt with, but I can do that without messing up what I put in the ground, so I can put seeds in the ground now. Yes, that feels good. I am going to do, if you look down below, it's mostly kind of straight, the level of the soil, but it's kind of undulating at the top. So I'm going to straighten it out a little bit first, but I've already got my seeds ready to go. I've got all my plant tags done. It's just time to start. It's a green forest of tags. First I'll just say I've ordered a couple more, so if you notice that there's less of them in this one here, I've got a couple of seeds on the way, so they'll get planted, but while I was at it, the ones that I do have that are going here are planted. And so what that is, to start, in each of the four, I have two varieties of corn. I have a yellow dent and a sweet corn. In the next one, I'm trying to walk across here without stepping down in the soil. So the idea is it's going to be two varieties of corn, just in case only one of them takes. Also two beans, just in case only one germinates. And then within the squash, because this is Three Sisters, I put two seeds. So in this particular case, I've got the yellow dent and the golden cross. The beans, I've got both a provider and a scarlet runner. And for the squash, I've got straight neck squash. So that's this one. Moving over. Same corn. In this case, I've got two provider and zucchini, Black Beauty. And in the last one, I've got the same corn, and I've got two scarlet runners and a table queen acorn. I put it on this end because if it really gets that big, I can kind of push some of the plant over in that direction and maybe prune it to keep it from going back that way. So if you're wondering why there's only two different types of beans, that's because I only had two different types of beans that are climbers. I have bush beans, which are different, which I can put somewhere else. But the idea with the Three Sisters is you have the corn, and the beans can climb up the corn stalk. Then you have the squash, which has giant leaves, which will keep the soil shaded and moist, which is also why I have the sprinkler heads down as low as I do, because I want to just keep the soil moist. I don't want to be watering the top of the plant. I want to water the root zone. So that's what the top planter is looking like. Next, we'll hit the bottom. Okay, well, that last shot was this morning, and I admit I have not gotten back here to add any more seeds, but there is a plan. I will get to that soon, and that is it for today. A short one. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Good Monday morning to you. Well, things got a little messed up yesterday. It was Mother's Day. I shouldn't really say that. But I still got seeds to put in the ground. I've still got all this stuff, other stuff that needs to come back here that got moved out of the way so I could get this done. A couple of really nice pots. I'm thinking, do they go up on the wall? So a lot of stuff to kind of figure out, but let's just kind of get to it. I'll admit I wanted to put seeds in the ground, but I also realized that there's other stuff that needed to be organized, so got that. I mean, it started with, I'm going to swing around that pot and the one on the end there and trying to figure out where to put them. And then while I was picking all that stuff up, and there was this other plant, and then there was the bins down below here and what to do with those, and then that just kind of led to all the stuff up on the wall there and fixing up some of the stepping stones and all of that. So that's why I just spent the last hour and a half working on all of that and not actually putting seeds in the ground. I still got some more stuff to do in the back and a couple of more pots to bring back this way, but it is what it is. I'm just going to keep working. So now that we've tamed the hibiscus and the bottle brush above it, because they were growing into each other, so it's kind of been cut back rather extremely, but they'll regrow. They were also kind of moving forward into this planter bed, so it's time. Well, I've already started, but I'm trying to tame the Nasturtium plant. You can even see in the back there it's growing all the way over to the right, and there's weed grass in there and everything else, so it's just, I'm going to try and scale it way back, make it look like a healthy plant, and then let it grow back out again. I still need to build some more little boxes to go in here and all of that, but that's all for, I don't know, a few days from now. I'm just trying to get to a point where I can actually reach over the nasturtium and plant seeds in the remaining beds here, so that's the plan. That was a bit more work than I thought it would be. It doesn't look great, but it's a lot smaller, and I can actually get around to sowing some seeds now, so that's what I'm going to work on next, is just getting the seeds into this planter bed. And unfortunately, as you may have noticed, the riser's no longer standing where it was because I knocked it off, and it's a plastic PVC riser and I broke it. But fortunately, I do have some other risers in stock, so I can put all that back together. So let's get some seeds planted and get that back together and go from there. Okay, that's another half hour down, but let's see what we managed to get planted. This will be the tomato and pepper garden, and so basically there's Italian broadleaf basil in almost all of them, I think, if not all of them. So this first one is black crim tomatoes. Then we've got the Roma tomatoes, which are already growing, and there's, I don't know what that third one is there, that little one. We'll find out. The cherry tomatoes, large red cherry, that's what I'm trying to grow. I tried planting them before, they didn't take. Hopefully this time they will. Then we're on to the peppers. I like the cherry pick so much that I've got 2 beds with cherry pick and also basil. And then over here we've got the giant Marconis and the hybrid Nikita, which I grew last year, as well as the cherry pick. I wanted to have a couple of different types of peppers, and that's what I've got now. This has all obviously been whittled down, but I'm guessing the nasturtium will grow back rather vigorously. Hopefully we get a different color than orange in these. I picked a lot of seeds and I tried to kind of sort them, but I may have messed it up. So I've got a giant thing that I know is orange, and I got a couple others that are like unknown and or sort of the kind of a striped orange. It was variegated, really. But anyway, that's got this one. Now I can move on to the lower planter on the side. And one more bed planted. I wanted to record this before I watered it in. Of course, I didn't know that was just about to happen. Let's see, we got cucumbers, pickling Boston cucumbers, and they're basically kind of in this area. You can kind of see it's a little bit darker. Kind of think like from the stepping stone across, but not up above. There's more room up there to put some other stuff, which I'm thinking about, but one thing at a time. Then we've got the chives. I can't read what that says, but again, about the same sort of pattern. In the case of the chives, they basically don't really go too far down. And they're really tiny seeds. So in the case of the really tiny seeds, I basically overplanted, and I'll pull the weaklings out and just leave the strong ones to continue. Up above, I've got Swiss chard kind of running across here. I think I put like 5 little holes in there. Let's see, cucumbers, straight 8, again, stepping stones. The spinach, giant noble, running across here, about 5 of them, or 5 holes, maybe multiple seeds. Then we've got the carrots, and since the carrots are going to get replaced, they're basically, I'm going to plant every few weeks. That I hadn't tried that before. I don't remember doing this when I've tried carrots in the past. I think I just let them grow and grow and grow. Hopefully this is fertile enough soil that they will grow quickly, and after 3 weeks I can pull them. The problem with carrots is you go to pull them, and once you pull them you can't put them back. So if they're babies, they're babies. I've got, let's see, Scarlet Nantes, and I got Danvers, and these are running kind of down that way and down that way. And behind it I've got radish, French breakfast, running from here across. And then finally, I've always kind of wanted to plant iceberg lettuce, just out of curiosity. So this is actually a little bit more than just the stepping stone across. It's actually a bigger area, and they're really tiny seeds, so I broadcast them down there and just kind of very gently covered it up, because they only go down like 1/8 of an inch. Same basic idea with the black-seeded Simpson lettuce, and that's over here. So another bed planted. Now I can water it in and water the one up above. I haven't done that yet, but I've got that done. I'll water it in. I got one more thing to do today, and then that's it for today. I gotta quit before I hurt myself, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Good Thursday morning to you. Well, it's been a few days. Monday I overdid it. Tuesday I did the front yard, got the lawn and a little bit of cleanup there, and washed the cars. Just wasn't up to recording, didn't feel very good. And then yesterday it hit me again. I thought I came down with a cold, but now I'm on a new theory here, and I've talked to my doctor about this, that basically it's all this outside work, and it's an allergy thing, that basically if I overdo it, I'm just sucking in all sorts of stuff that could be causing an allergic reaction, and that's why I end up feeling like I got a cold and down for a day or two. So I'm now going to start just taking allergy pills, among other things, and trying not to overdo it. So enough of that. What's on today's agenda is not actually the garden itself, although I wanted to kind of start in a familiar place. Everything's kind of looking good here, although if you look carefully, some of those have already started to fade, and it's even worse in the back. If I go to the if we get past all of this, go to the pepper and tomato patch, and they're almost completely faded out on some of them. So I got to find a better permanent marker and see if I can't clean those off and start over, or just, I don't know. These are cheap eBay tags, because I couldn't find the ones I got for Christmas. Really nice bamboo tags. But I mean, at that rate, then maybe I don't want to use the bamboo tags here. I'm going to figure it out. But that's kind of the update on that. I mean, everything's staying moist. The sprinklers went off this morning. Last couple of days, I did, despite feeling horrible, get out and make sure I kept the beds moist, so the seeds would have a chance to germinate. So that's where we are on that. Today's task is cleaning up in the backyard, not just things like moving the ladder there, or the step stool, or whatever you want to call that. Other things, mainly just the dust that has settled over the last several months. First thing I got to do is just, there's various things like this and some stuff remaining there that I've got to move out of the backyard, figure out where to put it all, ultimately going back to the side yard, or in the trash. Oops. Well, most of the footage I shot was unusable, so I figured I'd just give you a view of the finished product after cleaning up the backyard. And work our way around here. So you can see it's all just kind of nice and neat. I didn't get every last thing, but I mean, like, I still got the garbage can over there, but I'll get that tomorrow. Not a big deal. I'm going to quit for the day so I don't overdo it. I had to come back out just to re-record this, but there we go. I think that's going to be it for today, and I think that's going to be it for this video. We'll wrap up here. I got some weed pulling to get to, so that'll probably be in the next video. So thanks again for watching these videos, and take care of yourself. Take care of the ones, you know what? Not just take care of yourself, I mean really be conscious of what you're doing to your body if you get out and you work like this. I'm kind of learning that myself, really putting an effort in to clean up around the house and get all these projects done, but you got to be careful. You got to know your body, and you got to take care of yourself. So do that, but also take care of the people around you. Watch out for anything that you might be doing to anybody. I don't mean that to sound, you know, negative, but you know, consider the whole pandemic thing and all the rest of that stuff. Be aware of the people around you. Take care of the ones you love, and may your thumb be green.